Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Sayukta from beautiful Spotless Skin team. I'm sure all of you must be keeping good health. To look beautiful and smart at all times is quest of humans right from the beginning of civilization. You all know proper skin protection is the best thing you can do for the health of your skin today and slow down the effects of aging tomorrow. In today's era, changing weather with excessive heat or humidity increases risk of damage due to UV rays, which make skin more prone to wrinkles, melasma, and skin cancer. We know that sunscreen is valuable from a skin cancer and sun damage perspective, as well as something that helps prevent fine lines and wrinkles. According to a survey, 67% of people in India are still not using sunscreen as a daily skincare routine. Several things about sunscreen that we people are not aware of and that makes us to not include sunscreen as an integral part of skincare routine. So to keep you informed, today we have with us an expert who will talk about the importance of sunscreen and skincare routine. So let's connect today with our skin expert, Dr. Bansri Mahadevia, founder of Be the Chain Skin Clinic and director at Northstar Diagnostic Pvt. Limited. Dr. Bansri has completed MD Dermatology from VS Hospital Ahmedabad with double gold medals. Dr. Bansri has won the award for Best Paper Presentation amongst all medical specialists at MCON National Conference at Ahmedabad. She has completed thesis in platelet-rich plasma as a modality for anti-aging for the face. And today, doctor will enlighten us on sunscreen in our daily skincare routine. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Bansri. Hope you're doing good, ma'am.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for the generous introduction.
It's a pleasure to have you with us, and I'm sure we are going to have a very informative session with you. So to start with, we all know somehow, that sunscreen is important, but we would like to understand why we need to wear sunscreen every day, why it's so essential.
Right. So basically, it is said that if the sun did not exist in the world, there would be no dermatologists because the skin would be so amazing, right? So the sun, it has UV rays. It gives out these rays which are very harmful to the skin in many different ways. And depending on the type of the UV ray, it causes different changes in our skin. So it causes pigmentation, it causes photoaging, it causes fine lines, then it causes wrinkling, tanning. In the Western countries, a lot of skin cancer is seen because of the sun rays. There are many reasons, why we need to wear sunscreen. Basically, to protect us from all of these conditions.
Right. Many times people say that, see, the name itself suggests it's sunscreen. So it's, giving us a protection from the sun. So when the sun is not there, or, it's cloudy or rainy or winter is going, or we are inside our homes or offices, why should we wear sunscreen?
So, we just might, sun is not there. Like, we cannot actually see but there are a lot of UV rays which are still penetrating the ozone layer. They are still penetrating the atmosphere and reaching the earth, right? So that is still there. UVA rays, the UVB rays. So, especially, some people feel that, okay, it's only the afternoon protection, but it is even the early morning when we don't see the sun, the UVA rays are present throughout the day, right? It's only when it is completely dark is when those rays are not there. Okay, so in the afternoon, the UVB rays are there more in concentration, but otherwise they are there throughout. UVA rays are there throughout the day. Secondly, also, even when we are inside the house, the blue light which is emitted from the tube lights, your lights, bulbs, even like when we are in front of our screens, laptops, all of that also is responsible in some form of the other to cause photoaging. So sunscreen even helps, the newer sunscreens, the ones which give 360-degree protection even help to protect us against those rays and those lights, even visible light, even blue light. So that's why sunscreen becomes important, even if, it's not that absolute scorching heat.
Right. So even if the name suggests sunscreen, it actually is protecting our skin from all the harmful rays, either coming from the sun or the other light sources like the laptop or the mobile, which we are always in front of. So yeah, sunscreen is very essential. Whenever we go and buy a sunscreen, there is a term, an abbreviation rather, SPF, which is there associated with so many numbers starting from 15, 20, 30, 40, and so on. Now, what does this SPF level mean and why we should know about it while choosing our sunscreen?
Right. So, SPF, sun protection factor, in layman terms, what it means is, supposing my skin is being exposed to the sun without wearing any sunscreen, right? Today, right now, my sun is being exposed to the sun, and supposing my skin starts burning, say, after 30 minutes, right? Raw skin, for an example, if it starts burning in 30 minutes when exposed to the sun, so after applying sunscreen, that particular sunscreen, if you apply, and how much ever time it takes to double the time that your skin will burn is called as SPF or sun protection factor.
Okay.
Supposing it after applying that material on my skin, that particular sunscreen on my skin, supposing normally it takes 30 minutes without sunscreen, and with sunscreen, if it takes 1 hour, that means that the SPF is 2 because it has become double the time. So my skin will take double the time to get burnt by the sun, right? So now when we make it 2, 4, 10, 15, and now we get sunscreens, 30, 50, 60, 90, even 100, right? So, but frankly speaking, that doesn't really make much sense in Indian skin. So 30 SPF 30, gives us protection against almost 94 to 95% rays, whereas SPF 50 gives us protection against 98% of the rays. So so that is from like between 30 to 50 is an absolute ideal range for Indian skin.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And many times people say that it's also important to, know how much sunscreen you need to apply, the quantity, how many times you need to reapply. These factors are equally important. Please shed some light over it.
Yes. So normally when you include the face and the neck, so it includes around, say, 2 finger length of sunscreen should be used.
Okay.
And that should be applied over the entire face and the neck. Reapplication should be in an approximately 2 to 3 hours time duration. And if you are sweating, if you are in playing sports or something, then ideally it should be, if you're using a water resistant sunscreen, it should be an hourly basis. Though practically it is not very much possible, but that is the ideal recommendation.
Right. So someone whose working conditions are so, like you said, if you're a sports person or a swimmer or an athlete or someone who's working under the sun, field work, what we call. So they need to choose right kind of sunscreen. I mean, it should be water resistance, etc. I mean, these factors should also be considered, right?
Yes, absolutely. Whether it is water resistant or not, the SPF in that factor. But often I've noticed that we give a lot of importance to the SPF because that is one factor which has become very popular, amongst everybody. But the fact and the truth is that SPF only tells you the protection that you get against the UVB rays. And UVB rays are those rays which give us skin burns. They are not the rays which cause tanning. The rays which cause tanning are actually the UVA rays. So many times, patients come with the complaint, doctor, I applied so much of sunscreen, still I'm getting tanned. Because that is because you are not checking that whether your sunscreen might be having an SPF 100, but still it will not protect you against tanning because you've not made sure that is it a broad spectrum sunscreen or not.
Okay.
So it might just come as SPF 100, but that means that it is 100% protection against UVB rays. That does not ensure at all that it is protection against the UVA rays, which is very, very important. Those are the rays which go much deeper into the dermis, much deeper into the skin. They cause tanning, they cause aging, they cause wrinkling, they reduce the collagen in the skin. So, that is very important to make sure that there's a broad spectrum sunscreen, 360-degree coverage sunscreen. That becomes very, very important.
Right, and that reminds me, whenever I go buy a sunscreen for myself, I see a lot of information on the box of the sunscreen. As you
Right.
mentioned, it should be a broad spectrum, then protection against UVA, UVB, and other light sources. Many a times it's written like it protects you against the blue light, etc. PA plus.
Yes.
Many things are there. So, what are the
Yes.
most essential? You already said that it's important to see whether it's broad spectrum or not, and the SPF and other things. What are the other information that we can check by ourselves on the box?
Right. So most important is whether it's broad spectrum or not, right? Then SPF should be between 30 to 50 max, right? The PA factor is important. PA factor is the actual factor which tells you the UVA ray protection. So at least 2, 3 should be important. Then check whether it gives you coverage, including blue light and visible light or not. Also, you can check for these two common ingredients, which is zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. These are the very, very potent ingredients that are there in the sunscreen and give very, very good protection, actual physical protection, compared to the chemical sunscreens. So if you have these two ingredients, it is definitely very much beneficial.
Okay. And many people complain that when they apply sunscreen, they feel very oily or very patchy, or their skin becomes very dull, or they start sweating a lot, and they take these examples or complaints as an excuse to not use sunscreen. Now,
right.
What's the answer to those people?
So it is completely understandable, to be very honest, because there are many times you might feel oily, you might feel sticky. So it is very important to see your dermatologist and ask them for a sunscreen, because there are so many sunscreens in the market, and you will definitely find a sunscreen which suits you. So you might be aware only of a few sunscreens, but if you talk to a specialist, that person might be knowing a lot of sunscreen. So based on your type of skin, if you find the right type of sunscreen, you will in fact get addicted to it. Because sometimes, because of zinc oxide and all these ingredients, it gives such a beautiful matte finish that you sometimes don't even feel like applying makeup. The sunscreen itself becomes a foundation. That becomes like a foundation. So after putting moisturizer, directly apply your sunscreen and then put on your makeup. So the foundation itself becomes the SPF. So it is important to find the right one depending on your skin. So if you have oily skin, go for a matte based. If you have dry skin, go for a gel based. But don't give up, is what is important.
Right. So there is the right kind of sunscreen for you. The only requirement is that you get it correctly, and of course a dermatologist will help you out on that. Exactly. Now, again, many acne patients or people who have acne prone skin, they also complain that as sunscreen make them skin very oily, etc. They would not like to use sunscreen, especially when they have those acnes. Now, what should be the right way? If a person is suffering from acne, should he or she be using sunscreen or not?
So sunscreen is definitely known to cause acne. But the newer sunscreens, containing avobenzone, like you're mentioning, containing zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, when these ingredients are there, they don't really give a lot of acne. Make sure that it is written that it is not an oil-based sunscreen. Make sure that on your sunscreen it is written non-comedogenic sunscreen. When you check for all these things written on your sunscreen, it gives a good effect even for acne-prone skin. So yeah, they should continue to apply sunscreen, but make sure it is the right sunscreen.
Right. And again, in case of any confusion, please go and consult your dermatologist. They'll definitely help you out in
Yeah.
choosing the right kind of sunscreen for you.
Yeah.
And because children, again, they have a very playful routine. They are under the sun for most of the time, but then we are very hesitant as parents whether to apply sunscreen on them or not. So which sunscreens are best to use on children as well as infants? Can we use sunscreen on infants?
Yes, absolutely. We can definitely use sunscreens. Important thing is not to use it before 6 months of age, and
Okay.
use it only after 6 months. We can start using, and very important, only use physical sunscreens, not chemical sunscreen. So how do you know it's a physical sunscreen? Again,
Mhm.
like we mentioned, these two most important ingredients, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. When that is there, that is a very, very safe ingredient for children.
Right. So yeah, sunscreens can be applied on children's as well. Physical works the best for them.
Yeah.
Now, you
Yes.
also mentioned there are various formulations of sunscreens available. There are gel sunscreens, matte finish sunscreens. Now, which is the better formulation, like spray, cream, gel, lotion? There are so many in the market. How to choose the right one? Is this the skin type that is more important?
Yes, absolutely. It completely depends upon your skin type. It also depends upon a lot upon how your profession is. Whether you're going to be exposed to water, whether you're an athlete, whether you have some already pre-existing skin condition, whether your skin is super sensitive or not. So whether you have excessive exposure to sun, or are you just sitting in the office. So it matters on a lot of things. So yeah, so based on that, you can select the right formulation.
So, for choosing the right kind of sunscreen, of course, your skin type plays a very vital role. And in
Absolutely.
case a person is not very sure about his or her skin type, any
Yeah.
test that we can do at our home with minimum things to find out what is our skin type.
Sorry.
You said skin type plays a very important role in determining the right kind of sunscreen. Now, is there a way we can find out what is my skin type? Or, anybody can do a very simple test at home to find out our skin type?
So see, there are ways. There are these pH strips that come, which
Mhm.
help whether your skin is oily, non-oily, non-comedogenic, dry. But frankly speaking, that is again not a very practical solution. Best
Okay.
best is to go, just be on the go and observe your skin type. When you wake up in the morning, do you wake up with a moist feeling? Do you wake up with a dry feeling? Even after washing your face with an exfoliating face wash, do you still feel dry? Do you still feel oily? Just you have to keep on observing your own skin type, and that will help you to reach a conclusion. Otherwise, the rest, there are very other options like this. I mentioned pH strips and all. There are pads and all which come to tell your
Mhm.
pH and accordingly tell your skin type. But it's not very practical. Best is to keep on observing for yourself.
Fair enough. I'll also take some of our viewers' questions. So Nandini is here asking, since I lead a very busy life, I need to keep my routine really simple. What are the absolute basics for skincare?
Right. So absolute basic for skincare would be, just do your face wash while having a bath. So your first step cleansing is, just completed during your bath, so you won't feel like you are doing something, right? Now, when you don't overwash your face, then that means that you are not changing the pH of your skin. So if you just wash your face once, you're not changing the pH, and your normal pH is still being maintained, right? So you don't need to use a toner. People often complicate it by using a toner and a morning serum and an eye cream so just after using your face wash, just simply moisturize your face, and then before leaving, use a sunscreen. So that's it. That's how simple it is. And at night, use one cream. Don't wash your face all over again. Don't moisturize all over again. Just use one cream. Use a good cream, good night cream, and that's it. So that is how simple it should be for all working professionals and even non-working, I think, because if you add 10 things in the routine I don't think it's possible to stick for it like a year or 2 years, right? It's like you can hardly continue with it. So keep it as simple as this.
Normally people keep a big bag, for skincare routine. They have a number
Absolutely.
of products, and now you're saying just keep it really simple. You just
Keep
need a
it
little
as simple, but keep it consistent. That is important.
right.
Simplicity with consistency. And only if there is simplicity will there be consistency.
Absolutely right. I completely second you on that. And yeah, keep it simple, because simple is the best thing, and consistency again is what you need. So
Yeah.
Nandini, you have your answer now. We'll move to Shivani's question. Shivani Mishra is asking how to deal with dry skin that's peeling and sunburn.
How to
Deal with dry skin that's peeling and sunburn.
Okay, so I think the peel also must be because of the sunburn that is there. If it is burning a bit too much, then you can use a very mild steroid just for 3 to 4 days, right? Like a mild clobetasone or a hydrocortisone, fluticasone. These are the steroids that can be used. And then also mix it with the moisturizer. After 3 days, stop using the sunscreen and use a good thick moisturizer. Don't wash your face, don't exfoliate your face, don't use any other night serums till the skin is completely healed. So only use a good moisturizer, and for 2 to 3 days a very mild steroid, and the skin will heal on its own.
Okay. Shavita Singh is asking, is a high number SPF better than a low number one? We have already discussed, but maybe Shavita joined a little late. So again, would you like to explain this, the number game with SPF?
Yeah, sure. There's not a very big added advantage as well. So an SPF 30 would give you a protection of almost 94-95%, whereas a SPF 50 will give you a protection of 98%. So anything beyond that, it doesn't really make much sense, for Indian skin type to spend excessively for just because to increase the SPF. So 30 to 50, 30 also doesn't matter. It's hardly a difference of 2 to 3% protection.
Right. So 30 to 50 is good enough for Indian skins.
Absolutely fine.
Now, Palak Dubey is asking, how do sunscreens work?
Right. So sunscreen, depending on which sunscreen you go for. So there are two main types, the chemical and the physical sunscreen. The physical sunscreen actually work by creating a physical barrier between you and the sun. So when you apply, it's like just covering yourself, right? So the sun will just bounce off the face, right? But when you apply a chemical sunscreen, at that point of time, the chemicals which are there in the sunscreen, they absorb the sun rays, they get activated, and they oxidize it, converting it into free radicals, and hence protect the skin. So that is how they work, depending on which sunscreen you go for.
Okay. Sameer Sen is asking, how is the effectiveness of sunscreens measured?
So yeah, effectiveness is on the based on the PA, the PA factor that we were discussing. The PA, it should be like +2, +3, +4. Then the second, another factor is the SPF. Third thing is the water resistance. So there's a difference between waterproof, water resistance. Waterproof is like, if you are in water for half an hour, the sunscreen will wash off. Water resistance is when you are in the sun and water for even 45 minutes, the sunscreen will not wash off. So when go for a water resistant sunscreen, and then go for an SPF which is 50, go for a sunscreen which has PA factor at least 2 to 3 plus, and 2 plus is also fine. Go for a broad spectrum. So all these things make it more and more effective.
Okay. Parul Dikshit is asking, how much sunscreen should I be applying?
Yeah, so it's like a 2-finger length sunscreen for your face and neck.
And supposedly somebody is going on a vacation in the beach, etc. Then of course, because the parts of our body, more parts are exposed. So in that case, I mean, how to decide, for hands or legs, etc. Is there a formula for that as well?
Not really, but you can use a spray-based sunscreen for the hands and legs, or you can also use a lotion-based sunscreen for the hands and legs. Whereas for face, you can use a matte gel combination. Or there are newer oral sunscreens available. because it's not possible to continuously reapply on the hands and legs all the time when you go on the beach. So oral sunscreens are a very good option for that period of time. They will give you an overall protection.
Okay. People are also very confused, about the like what should be the number of, when to apply sunscreen. Like you need to cleanse in your face first, then you should apply your moisturizer. Then you said it's,
Yeah.
the time of sunscreen. And if suppose I want to apply some makeup as well, then when to apply sunscreen?
See, it's very simple. Sunscreen will always be last. Always.
Okay.
On your daily basis. But of
Mhm.
course, when you're applying makeup, let's be clear, we are applying makeup for the cosmetic part of it.
Mhm.
Right? It is for the cosmetic look. So
Right.
then you apply makeup and then again you apply sunscreen on top, you might not, you might end up spoiling the makeup.
Exactly.
So to just use your sunscreen as a foundation at that point of time so that you at least have something.
Mhm.
But otherwise, ideally, sunscreen will always be last.
Okay. So it works as a jacket for our skin, right?
Exactly.
Okay. I'll take few more questions from our viewers. Shubhi is asking, though it's not directly related with sunscreen, but still I'm taking it. मैम क्या फेस को बार बार धोना चाहिए स्किन क्लीन करने के लिए?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
One day is more than enough. अगर आप बाहर जा रहे हो एकदम कुछ जिम से वर्कआउट करके आए हो, you've been in the dust, then maximum you can wash it is 2 times a day, but nothing more than that is required because it will strip your face out it will strip the natural oils on your face that will change pH, that will damage the skin barrier. So don't wash more than once and maximum twice.
Okay. People who have, oily skin or who are acne prone, they tend to wash their face as soon as possible, as many times as possible. And they often even go to the extent of exfoliating the skin as well. So any advice on that?
So, in fact, because they feel like their skin is oily, they keep on washing their face, and when they wash it, it will become dry, and the skin feel that it's become dry, so it will secrete more oils, and then it will become more oily. Okay. Right. So that's why, in fact, the cause of it becoming more oily is overwashing the face. So it's a big myth.
Right.
So please don't do that. Best is, if you feel like your skin is oily, use a very non-comedogenic moisturizer. Make sure to give your skin the moisture so that the skin does not feel like it's lacking the moisture and produce more oil. It's a very big myth. People feel like I have oily skin. So
true.
Yes.
Right. So even if you have a oily skin, you need to moisturize your face, and please don't be very harsh with your skin by washing it again and again.
Exactly.
Be gentle is the bottom line.
Yes.
Pammi Yadav is asking, what is vitamin C and how does it add to your skincare routine?
So vitamin C is like a jack of all, master of none kind of a molecule. It is a mild molecule, very safe molecule. It helps a little bit in skin brightening. It has a little bit function in all the functions. So like a little bit for anti-aging, a little bit for detanning, a little bit for anti-pigmentation. So if you are someone who has good normal skin, no particular concern, and you want to use one maintenance serum, then vitamin C is a good serum to use.
Okay. And when we talk of sunscreen, we often say that it also works on, anti-aging formulation because it goes on, lessening your wrinkles or fine lines. So what's that?
So what happens is when the sun rays reach your skin, the UVB rays tend to go UVA rays tend to go very deep. And in your skin is where the collagen is there. So it destroys this collagen. And when the collagen is destroyed, that is when you will start showing fine lines. You will start showing wrinkling, right? So if you want to prevent this, you have to prevent those UV rays from reaching your skin.
Okay.
So that is why you should apply sunscreen. So it's actually a preventative measure to make sure that you don't get these fine lines. Sometimes people might feel, okay, I applied sunscreen, but I don't see any visible result. But it's not about seeing the result. It's about what you could have prevented. You don't know how your skin could have been if you're not applying it.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like that.
Okay. And many times people, will cover up their face or, whatever part of their body is exposed to sun with clothes instead of using sunscreen. So again, your take on that.
So I would say it's a good thing to do. Don't do it instead of sunscreen, do both. So that in case you reach a time period where the effectiveness of the sunscreen has gone, at least you have your clothes to protect you. So, it's actually physical. So it's a physical barrier. You're just preventing the sun rays from reaching your body. So many times, we go to the beach, we see tan lines. The place where the swimming costume is there, there you don't see, it's still slightly lighter than the rest of the body, which is a fact. It's proven that, even clothes can help you protect against the sun. Right? And one important thing I would like to mention is people often feel that you should wear white clothes, light clothes, but actually the other way around. So if you genuinely want protection against the sun, you should wear dark clothes.
Okay.
So dark clothes, they absorb the sun rays. So you will feel hot, but that sun rays will not be allowed to reach your skin because the clothes will absorb it. So you will end up feeling hotter, but you will actually be more safe from the sun. Whereas if you wear light clothes, so if you wear light clothes, you will not feel very hot, but the sun rays will pass through and reach your skin.
Very interesting trivia, definitely.
Yes.
And okay, so one more viewer is here. Rohit Ranglani is asking, long time exposure to sun, any photostable sunscreen recommendation, doctor?
So photostable, so there are many sunscreens available in the market. There is again a Acne UV sunscreen by IPCA is also a great sunscreen, especially for those suffering from acne. It's a very non-comedogenic light sunscreen. Then there is Face Guard, there's Sunblock 360. There's a sunscreen again called Photostable. So all of these are very nice and standard sunscreens. But important thing to notice is that no sunscreen will give you protection for more than 3 hours max. So, it doesn't matter. You might buy the most expensive of sunscreens, but it will still not end up giving you. So it's there will always be a limitation of the molecule, right? So you cannot expect, humans have the capacity. You can not expect a human can run for 10 hours continuously. We can run for 2 hours, 3 hours, but so that is not a problem of the company or the product. It's a problem of the molecule. So this is good standard company, but make sure that you reapply it.
So reapplying, applying in the right quantity, all this matters along with the sunscreen that you are using. Okay. And one more thing, doctor, we all know that we in this country, we live mostly in a tropical conditions where heat is there, excessive heat, humidity, they all play a very important role in actually spoiling our skin. But still 67% of people in India are still not using sunscreen. What's stopping them? And if you get an opportunity to address those 67% of people, what will you say to them?
So I'll just say that if there is one thing that if someone would ask me, like the first question that came, that I'm a very busy person, how do I simplify the routine? I would just say apply sunscreen and leave the house. That is the only thing that needs to be done, to be very, very honest. I feel it is a lot of awareness probably, gradually increasing. Like, of course, seminars like these, it's a wonderful initiative by IPCA. So this will help to gain the awareness. So I would just like to say that, if you want to remain the person that you look at 20, you want to stay the same way, not same way, but at least the best version of yourself. You want to maintain the best version of yourself. do apply sunscreen very regularly.
And how bad it can go if somebody is just not using sunscreen, have never used sunscreen. I mean, how bad can it be? I mean, of course, I know about pigmentation, etc., but still, any other thing that comes along with that?
Lot of things. There's pigmentation, there's fine lines, there's wrinkling, there's loss of collagen. There are conditions like melasma. One very important thing is like the skin becomes thicker. It becomes thick. It looks thick and dark. There's maturational hyperpigmentation. There are a lot of things that can happen. There's freckles, dots that you see. So in so many people, there's dots that you see. There are a lot of things that can happen.
Okay. And what else should we know about sunscreen? I know anything other than sunscreen that we can actually do to protect our skins from the sun or the harmful rays, etc. Anything that by eating that can help?
So, practically, like we mentioned, for example, say vitamin C, glutathione, mulberry extracts, antioxidants are a very good way of protecting ourselves against the sun. But there is always an optimal dose that is required. For example, if you talk about vitamin C, right? Having oral vitamin C, you need to have it in the dose of say 1000 milligrams per day. So hypothetically speaking, eating an orange or eating lemon is good for you and will help you protect you against the sun. But like when you eat one lemon, it contains 20 milligram of vitamin C, right? So unless you're going to have 50 lemons per day, it's not going to really protect you against the sun. So what I feel is that you should eat the right foods, but yeah, you have to collaborate it with the supplements as well. Only then you can reach an optimal concentration. And unless you reach that concentration, you're not going to see the effect.
Right. And doctor, before we sum up the whole session, any take-home message for our viewers?
I think the take-home message would be keep it simple, but keep it consistent.
Okay. So yeah, keep it simple. You already said that if you are too busy, then at least apply sunscreen and leave the house. That's what you can do the least. But yeah, do apply sunscreen regularly. Reapplication is equally important. The amount of sunscreen you're applying is equally important. The kind of sunscreen as per your skin type and your work schedule. So all of this plays an important role. Thank you so very much, Dr. Bansri, for your valuable time. Bansri, and it has been a very informative session for our viewers. It was great listening to you. Thank you so very much.
The pleasure was mine, and thank you so much. Thank you for the initiative. Let's hope more and more people keep using sunscreen.
Exactly. That's the whole, motive behind conducting these sessions, that we really want people to get aware about the importance of sunscreen and start using sunscreen. Thank you so very much once again. We really look forward for many more such sessions for our viewers in coming days.
Thank you for hosting it so well. Thank you, and thank you your entire team.
Thank you. And viewers, thank you for your active participation in today's session. Stay connected to our beautiful Spotless Skin page. Thank you. Goodbye.